Hello, Jason Bates here, owner of Electrum Financial, a mortgage broker located right here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona, where a mortgage is not a flip of the coin. So if you're looking to purchase or need to refinance, I would like to be your broker of choice as I have access to lowest rates at the lowest costs in Arizona. And if you don't believe me, call me. Here is this week's mortgage market at a glance. It goes by many names: the employment situation, non-farm payrolls, or simply the jobs report. No matter what you call it, the Labor Department's massive collection of employment statistics is one of the most important events for the bond market every month. For a quick reminder as to why mortgage rates care about the bond market, here's a chart of relative movement in the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate and the 10-year Treasury yields, which is the quintessential bond market benchmark. You may notice that rates have been moving higher recently, and that's where our journey intersects with Friday's jobs report. In short, the government's official job tally of 194,000 new jobs created fell extremely short of the median forecast calling for 500,000 jobs. At almost any other time in history, this would have sent rates screaming lower. This time around, however, rates responded by surging to the highest levels in months. First off, context matters. A vast majority of the move to the highest levels in months was in the books before the jobs data hit. 10-year yields help us visualize minute-to-minute rate momentum over the past 3 weeks. And once you come to terms with the previous chart, there's really nothing terribly important left to discuss with respect to the jobs report. For those who'd like to explore more of the rabbit hole, let's continue. The report itself may have been much weaker than expected in terms of the payrolls component, but many other components of the report told a very different story. The data collection is so massive that it would take a prohibitive amount of space to dissect it in detail. So I've selected just a few bullet points to highlight. The unemployment rate fell to 4.8% from 5.2% previously. Wages actually increased 0.2% more than expected. Workweek hours increased 0.1% more than expected, and this actually is significant by the time we consider the 161 million people in the labor force. 5 million people reported pandemic is preventing them from working as much as they'd like. This is down from 5.6 million last month. 1.1 million people reported they were temporarily laid off. That number was as high as 18 million in April 2020. It's a big drop, of course, but it was 374,000 lower before the pandemic. The more time one spends sifting through all the details, the more it becomes clear that employers are hungry for employees, but employees are historically aloof. The skills gap is only one reason for this, but the pandemic is the elephant in the room. The pandemic also continues to explain why rates have jumped so willingly in the past few weeks. The marked decline in case counts lines up perfectly with the unfriendly rate breakout. In fact, if I'd like to simply blame the pandemic for the entirety of the rate momentum landscape, all I'd have to do is zoom out. And if I need to account for the mid-2021 departure from the red line, here's how I do it. Now, all the above adds up to the highest mortgage rates in months as of Friday afternoon, an assertion that runs counter to numerous news reports that came out on Thursday. As is often the case, Freddie Mac's weekly mortgage rate survey is the source of the confusion. That much was already clear on Thursday when it came out. Friday's bond losses only added to the drama. To understand how Freddie's survey could possibly claim rates are lower this week, consider the following chart. It shows actual movement in the mortgage bond market, which is the most relevant ingredient for mortgage lenders as they determine their rate offerings. The highlighted areas show when Freddie receives most of their survey responses. The timing of recent market movement resulted in Freddie's survey showing the maximum possible week-over-week drop in rates. Either way, the line speaks for itself. By Friday, it hit its highest levels in more than 6 months. So there you have this week's mortgage market at a glance. If you'd like to know more, reach out to me. I'd like to meet you, and that is for sure. Thanks for watching, and if you're looking to purchase or refinance a home in Arizona, I would like to be your broker of choice. So until next time, take care and stay safe.